Pineda, Pineda, Pineda. Cause every time we touch, I get this feeling, and every time we kiss, I swear I can fly. Don't you hear my heart beat fast? I want this to last. Need you by my side. After the opening round of the US Open Cup, we're back for USL League One. South Georgia Tormenta travels to Richmond to take on the Kickers, where both teams look for their first win in 2024. It's the USL League One on ESPN+. Hello and welcome, I'm Ryan Lee, so happy to be with you tonight. And both teams look to get back to their winning ways. And for Richmond, it's look good, feel good. Returning to their seeing red kicks that the Kickers have known and loved throughout the last 3 decades as the longest continuously running soccer franchise in the U.S. They want to remind the players and fans of the tenacity that the Richmond Kickers culture has brought and been set upon. Richmond will look to continue their upward trajectory in their seeing red kits, and one guy seeing red is Adrian Billhart. The 26-year-old German is off to a hot start. A goal in each of the first 2 matches, accounting for the only Richmond goal so far in 2024. His goal against Spokane was enough to earn Billhart a spot in the League One Team of the Week for Week 2. Tormenta left with only one player from their 2022 title run, Jake Dangler, who will be in the starting lineup tonight. Gabriel Rodriguez scored the first goal for Tormenta in their opening match against Central Valley Fuego, and club legend Pablo Jara left in the offseason for the Richmond Kickers. And in his place, enter Ford Parker, showing his early impact for the club. Parker earned the League One goalie of Week 2, stopping 7 of 8 in Tormenta's 1-1 draw against Madison. Parker also leads the league in saves with 10, and Parker starts in net tonight, looking for his first win since August of 2020. 2 young teams hungry for their first win of the season. It's the Richmond Kickers and South Georgia Tormenta. Lineup and kickoff coming up next.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the High Five Strangers guy. Game-winning interception. First down. Just a nice, solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extrovert. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
So we've decided to sell the house.
Oh, yeah? Who's your realtor?
Well,
Over here, guys! Over here! Only $10!
Where do I find comps? What is encumbrance? How do I escrow?
Here's what I found for Scarecrow.
actually, I've been meaning to ask who you and Paul worked with.
Welcome to Royal New Kent Golf Club. Designed by world-renowned architect Mike Strantz, Royal New Kent's a one-of-a-kind Irish-style golf course located 20 minutes east of Richmond, Virginia. Royal New Kent was featured in Golf Week's top 100 public courses in the country. Hidden behind grassy knolls and hand-stacked rock walls, each hole offers several playing options to fit a wide range of abilities. Visit royalnewkent.com or follow us on social media for more information on tee times and rates. Remember, come to Royal New Kent Golf Club to Golf Ireland in Virginia.
We would not have a business today if it weren't for the support of the many, many people within the Richmond community. To me, we're working as a team to enhance the quality of life for all residents.
It's about being the best that you can be. It's about enriching the lives of people in your community. There's a reason why we have the tagline Nourish, because it's really about nourishing the lives of the people that work for us and the people that we serve. That's what the UCrops brand stands for.
We return here for the USL League One on ESPN+. The Richmond Kickers host South Georgia Tormenta, where both sides will be looking for their first win in 2024 in the League One season. We get things started with the Richmond Kickers, who will be starting off with their 4-3-3 foundation. Pablo O'Hara will look to get things back against his former squad, South Georgia Tormenta. And Nil Vinyals has really been the catalyst of the offense, but Adrian Billhart has really been the one up in that forward spot to be the beneficiary of the setup from Vinyals, and he'll look to continue that dominance on the offense going into tonight. South Georgia Tormenta will be in a 4-3-3 as well. However, they'll be sporting a lot of new guys and a lot of new places. We mentioned Ford Parker, who was Team of the Week of League One in Week 2. In stopping 7 of 8 against Forward Madison, alongside of that 4-back formation with Kilwine and Dangler in the middle. Dangler is the last player on the Tormenta roster who was a part of that 2022 title run. We mentioned the return of the Seeing Red uniforms for the Richmond Kickers, who want to look good, feel good. They want to get back to their early form. The first game of the season for Richmond was a loss to Spokane in Spokane. They did get a win here, right here at City Stadium in Richmond, Virginia. However, that was against League Two side Christos. Does not quite count for the League One standings. However, that is something they can build off of. South Georgia Tormenta will look to do something very similar, building off of their first win of the season against FC America of the UPSL in their opening round of the US Open Cup. However, they start things off without a win, 1 loss and 1 draw in that order against Central Valley and Madison. This is Richmond's first game on the road. This is South Georgia Tormenta's, first game on the road. Well, Richmond will have their 3rd straight in a stretch of 4 consecutive home matches. We are ready to kick off. Tormenta in the blacks from right to left, and Richmond from left to right in the reds. Tormenta starts things off early as the far send is already commencing, as we already have some back and forth going between the two sides. Both of these two teams really want to carry a lot going into the remainder of the season, considering how they want to start things off hopefully with a win, but that inadvertent touch from Pablo O'Hara will produce the first corner of the match in favor of Tormenta. Connor Doyle to take on that far side in the first minute. Doyle curves in a little bit too far, but still maintained inbounds and in possession of Tormenta. Another send into the box, but O'Hara will have to make his way up to get the grab. We've been keeping eye of Mother Nature throughout everything here in Richmond, and at kickoff, it currently stands at 57 degrees, no chance of precipitation, which Richmond was kind of fearing, for lack of a better term, to start things off, as it could play a huge factor in this game. However, 15-mile-per-hour winds, as we saw in that first corner, coming from the back of Tormenta. So it's going from right to left along the length of the pitch. As we have the first stoppage in play. Could be a ball issue, which is what it appears to be. And that's really going to be something that will be very interesting throughout the duration of this game, is that one-sided wind. It's really coming from the back of Tormenta into the face of Richmond. It could potentially play a part, as that 15-mile-per-hour wind is expected to continue throughout the entire, not just match, but throughout the entire game. Richmond look to make things in transition. Not enough for Bill Hart, but maintains possession anyways. Nicholas Simmons, wide for Bill Hart. Bill Hart chips it up, centering feed, pounces up in front, but it's denied by Ford Parker. And now Georgia Tormenta have a potential run, but Hara will come out of his penalty area to send it away. A couple of really great opportunities offensively for both sides, as that chip-in came right in front. Neil Vignoles was trying to get that deflection right on target. Parker makes his first stop of the game. As we mentioned, leads the league in saves. He's got 10. Stopped 7 of 8 against Madison in that 1-1 draw for the League One Team of the Week for Week 2, as this one is sent deep for Tormenta. Possession for Tormenta. Comes near side. Watson. Turned over. Tormenta get it right back, and now they have an opportunity up the middle. Sebastian Vivas dumps it off. Comes out far side. And that one, rebound, they score! The first shot was blocked. The second shot finds its way through. Connor Doyle, with his first goal of the season, opens it up 5 minutes in. Question was going to be, what are these two teams going to do? That first shot from Akoto gets blocked, but it just rolls right for Doyle, charging up ahead to bury that one into the top corner. Hara can only do so much, as we can see Akoto got it off of the side, wanted the handball, but nonetheless, Doyle with the follow-up and the bury to open up this scoring only 5 minutes in. And this will put Richmond on their heels early. As we go through our keys of the game presented by CarMax, fast and aggressive play. And throughout 2023 and 2024, 1-12-5 is Richmond's record when they concede the first goal. We'll see if the trends continue in that direction as Watson sprints up the near side before it gets disrupted away by Simon Fitch. The keys to the game for Tormenta, as the shot comes right towards Hara, is to keep it clean on both ends. They lead the league in fouls with 30. They're also one of only 3 teams with 4 or more yellow cards throughout the season so far. So with Tormenta, it's trying to play that clean game, not letting Richmond get the opportunities to control the pace on set pieces of any sort, but now they want to try to send it through before the pass gets intercepted away by Preston Kilwine, and now the ball gets retreated back for Ford Parker. Retreats back for Kilwine. Almost had a Richmond player on the break, but the kickers will take it back. James Vaughn on the retreat. The 2022 league champions looking to get things back, but they take that one out, but the long ball was blown down right before Richmond can really threaten. Despite neither team really having that win to start things off in the season, they were able to do so in the US Open Cup, which both coaches noted can present opportunities for both sides, especially with both teams being very young in comparison to the rest of League One. South Georgia Tormenta with the second youngest roster in League One. Richmond, the third youngest roster in League One this season. So they really preached youth, trying to develop from within, utilizing their academy programs and the NCAA system to really gather their talent. Ball comes all the way back. Parker and Kilwine, a little miscommunication, but nonetheless, Kilwine sends it out. A near interception there for Dakota Barnathan, but cannot get anywhere. Long ball. Hara just waves that one away and takes it. It's a very mix and match back four for Richmond as the ball comes out on that far side for a Richmond throw. Dakota Barnathan and Maxie Schenfeld for Richmond in that back four. 29 and 31, and plopped right into the middle. Griffin Garnett, who is 17 years old. So that was one of those things that when we talked to Richmond coach Darren Sawatsky, he really wanted to emphasize was utilizing some of the youth on his team, and that in going younger to develop players, it's to create long-term sustainability. It's going to take a couple of years for the fruits of the labor to finally pay off, and he just preaches patience within the organization, within his players, because in the long run, it will help things out. As the chip pack comes into the box, but is blocked away, still a scramble in the box, no one able to maintain. Bill Hart just gently cleared away, but kept in play by Simon Fitch. Vignoles fakes the shot, tries the return pass. Is it sent up in front, and Ford Parker able to catch. Started both matches to start things off in the 2024 season is Ford Parker. As we go through the injury report for Richmond, brought to you by Bon Secours. Emilio Terzaghi, three-time League One MVP and Golden Boot, is out. You also have a promising 25-year-old defenseman in Nathan Awney who is out, as well as João Gomero, Guy Franca, and Antonio Pineda, a couple of guys who have yet to make their way onto the starting lineup for 2024, but some of them have had their opportunities in 2023. João Gomero out of the lineup, was third on the team in goals and assists in 2023. Nathan Awney had career highs last year and was second on the team in minutes played. And then Emilio Terzaghi, the biggest loss, the first player in League One history with 10+ goals in 4 consecutive seasons. And it's really a question of how those guys are going to be able to fill in for Darren Sawatsky as whistle comes and first booking against the Kickers. Nils Vignal will be booked for that yellow.
Yellow card has been assessed to Richmond Kickers number 10, Bill.
It's just that little kick from behind, takes down his man. Bit of a reset. Dalmeida sends it to the box. No second chance for Tormenta, so Richmond will have to take this one out. Bill Hart in pursuit, unable to find it. So it just sputters its way to the near side. But Richmond maintains possession as it last deflected off of Tormenta. And we kind of mentioned that a little bit earlier of the pedigree of players that Richmond has lost due to injuries. And the exact words from Richmond coach Darren Sawatsky was, "We're pretty beat up," end quote. And he's really trying to figure out how to not only allow his players to get healthy, but how to get his players up to a level where once those healthy players come back in, that transition becomes as easy as possible once everyone kind of meshes in, to kind of reduce the gap between the quote-unquote starters and the guys filling in. Adrian Bill Hart totally has been able to do that as he started things off strong on the offense, but the Richmond offense gets deflated as the deflection off of the leg of now Watson comes out of play for a Tormenta throw. Still in Tormenta's possession for the throw. Vignoles. Centers it back, so chasing will be the 17-year-old Griffin Garnett. Richmond started two 17-year-olds in that center back position last week versus Spokane, but now they only have one as the ball comes out wide for Bill Hart. Bill Hart finds his way through into the box. Tackle cleared away, but just a little out of reach. So Richmond will continue possessing. Fans don't like that as a hard stumble comes for James Vaughn, but it will produce a whistle and a set piece for Richmond. Tormenta in 2023, when they start the scoring, they're 10-1-4 last season. They have yet to do so in 2024 as they conceded first in both of their regular season matches versus Central Valley and Madison. But Vignoles was electric in that game versus Spokane. He looks to do something here off of the first real threatening set piece for Richmond. Chipped up into the box, header, punched away by Ford Parker. With a Tormenta player down at the 6. But this is just a beautiful ball from Vignoles. Had the header opportunity there. That looked like is Ryan Sierakowski using his 6'1", 175 frame to elevate. But Parker able to just punch that ball away, maintaining his League One lead in saves. As Parker discussing with our head official, Luis Diego Arroyo, with Trevor Haddock and James Dooling as the assistant referees and Marie Durr as that fourth official. We already have a player down for Tormenta early on, as we're just about a quarter hour in. That appears to be Aaron Lombardi, 28-year-old Argentinian. Spent the last 2 seasons with the Chattanooga Red Wolves of the USL League One, where he actually lost to Tormenta in that 2022 League One final, earning his 51st start in the USL League One. Looks like a head injury as he's grasping there. Lombardi walks off with the training staff, and just the question is whether or not anyone's going to fill that role, at least for the immediate time being. Corner sent into the box, cleared away by Tormenta. Watson taken down hard on that far corner, so possession gets conceded Tormenta's way. So we take another look here. That's about as good as a save as you can get from Ford Parker, using every frame of that 6'2" height to sprawl across, get the fist out to clear and force the corner. Ball bounces up as a shot comes, but a little bit off the target. Lombardi is back inside of the match, but just keep a little spot on that little right portion of his head where the blonde is a little bit more red than it normally is. Not necessarily for those for the a little more of a visual for those with a stronger stomach. Lots of Richmond back in there seeing red. Trainer saw a lot of that on the top of Aaron Lombardi's head. As Watson in a 1v1. Out of reach, foul, Richmond possession. In his press conference on Thursday, Tormenta head coach Ian Cameron talked about some of the best away games that a team can have throughout League One. And he noted that Richmond is one of those environments that really produces one of the best road games because they have a very populated fan base, as you can see from those stands. And it really drives the players. It really helps them elevate their game, noting specifically, quote, that the players like to hush a crowd and that they want to test themselves in a hostile environment, which, as we've seen in the first early going, that the crowd has not been shy to voice their opinions throughout this match as Vignoles takes the possession at center. Fitch, too far for Bill Hart. Lombardi sends it away, but still juggling. Early possession, 2/3 in the kicker's way. However, Tormenta have that 1-0 lead in the scoreline in that first 20 minutes. Heavy pressure coming from Fonseca, but the ball comes back for Hara, who will distribute to Barnathan. Seam pass up the middle, Simon Fitch. Now he will get something. Vignoles wanted to send it out wide, but it's going to be cleared away by Tormenta. Fans, welcome the 2024 USL kickoff presented by Terminix. Throughout the month of March, the USL will be kicking off across the country. Join us for all the action on ESPN and CBS sports platforms. Richmond looking to attack. Wants it out wide for Sierakowski, but cannot quite get it there, so Vignoles has to go and take the loose change. Pass for Bill Hart, little out of reach. And Richmond are unable to contain, so now Tormenta will take it out themselves. Spangler getting pestered the entire way through but is unable rather to get the throw in. Aggressive protest from Tormenta head coach Ian Cameron in that white jacket over there. But nonetheless, Richmond will take it back. Where despite having over 2/3 of the possession, 3 shot attempts in favor of Tormenta versus 2 for Richmond, but Vigneault's look to try to generate some more. Fitch. Bill Hart sends it to the middle, cleared out and out of play. This wind has been swirling. We saw in that first corner kick early in about the 5-minute mark that it was blowing on the arena section right to left, so towards Tormenta's back. Now the flags are blowing from left to right towards Richmond's back, so we'll see how that continues to play out throughout the match as Fitch tried to get in front, but Lombardi slides in to make the tackle. Ends up in a goal kick for Parker. Parker 0-1-1 on the season in his 2 matches played. As we mentioned in the open, looking for his first win as a keeper since August 29th of 2020, when he was a member of the Birmingham Legion of the USL Championship. In a 4-1 win versus Charlotte. Back when the Independents were still a part of the USLC before they went back to League One. Tormenta takes it off from the throw. Center taken down, but no foul, so Richmond will continue the other way. Zakamoran. Simon Fitch sends it to the box, cleared out by a header, but Fitch will let it go by him and earn the throw for Richmond. Richmond struggled last season, not just as a whole, but at home as well. 3 wins, 7 losses, and 6 draws at home for the Kickers in 2023. This is their first league home game, as they were back here in that 1-0 win versus Christos in the US Open Cup, as they take another throw deep in the Tormenta end. Tormenta, however, solid on the road, 7 wins, 3 draws, and 6 losses in 2023. In their first game away from home for the season, as the ball comes back for Barnathan. Wants a feed into the box, but overhead everyone. And now Sierakowski goes for net, but that one will find its way into the first couple of rows of tarped seats on the end zone there. Sierakowski just letting that one fly. Really wanted to get that opportunity in his 50th career start in USL League One, his 20th match played in a Richmond kit. He's trying to level the game, but it's just a little off target, so Tormenta will continue leading by 1, 25, almost 26 minutes in. Fonseca is taken down aggressively. So this will grant a set piece for Tormenta in the Richmond end. Doyle scored the opening goal of the game back in the 5th minute, wearing the captain's armband. Took some corners earlier. As he looks for the set piece on the 1-man wall. Doyle into the box, headed out. Tormenta maintains possession. but not for long as it juggles out. But that doesn't mean the damage is done for Richmond, as they finally clear it out for Nick Simmons. A lot of respect between the two sides, as Tormenta's head coach Ian Cameron noted that Richmond is a well-organized team with a very clear identity. They're very disciplined in possession, as they have all game, with closing in on 70% in the game so far. And they're built very similar to Tormenta. A lot of youth on both sides, as we mentioned, as a hard knockdown right towards that center circle. Zaka Moran and Sebastian Vivas were tangled up. Kickers continue possession. Far side, Vignoles. Moran and Vignoles go back and forth. As near side distribution comes all the way around for Fitch. Far side, Sierakowski. Try to find some open space. But that one dribbles out, deflected last off of Richmond in Tormenta's way. And as we've mentioned throughout the game so far, that both of these teams had matches midweek due to the US Open Cup. Tormenta played on Tuesday, Richmond on Wednesday, both winning their respective games, as Tormenta got that early goal in the 5th minute from Nick Koto, who's in the starting lineup today. But the distribution comes out wide, and Watson has to chase it down. Back for Koto. Scored the goal 5 minutes in the Open Cup. Now sent into the box, but overhead. And this is kind of back to that other factor we've been mentioning all game of how weather might be playing into this match. It's gone towards Richmond's back. Now it's in Tormenta's back. And you can see on that corner flag, it's going towards Tormenta's back. Richmond's front right now. Lombardi had to be careful there not to cause another stain on that blonde hair of his. But that one gets sent all the way down, out of play. And as we've been mentioning the success that both of these teams have had in the US Open Cup, Tormenta's head coach Cameron said that the short week does provide a scarcity of time, and it really changes the way that the coaches have to approach the week, really having to prioritize what were the key defects, if you would, in terms of the way that they played the prior match. But however, he also was noted saying that playing those 3 games is a privilege, because not only does it allow Tormenta in this situation to continue to advance throughout the tournament, but what it also does is it allows the team to continue to build up on their strength and their development through playing time rather than just through training. And they've been able to do so here, maximizing their opportunities, really limiting their mistakes. It's just a matter of Richmond just continuing to possess the ball, but in the opportunities Tormenta has had throughout this match so far, they've been able to make Richmond really work for it at times. Select is the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship and many other elite leagues throughout Europe. The us.select-sport.com for the latest Select product, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Heavy foul on the far side, has the ball dribbling out of play. Pablo Jara will take the goal kick. Jara won a League One title with Tormenta in 2022. Spent 5 years with the club. In his first match against his former team, where he won a championship, broke multiple records with Tormenta, signed with Richmond in December. Backstops Richmond as Barnathan will retreat for Hara. Hara sends it away. Another takedown by Vinyals at center, and now another booking comes against Tormenta, their second of the game. Tavio Dalmaya will get the yellow.
Card has been assessed to Tormenta FC number 19, Tavio Dalmaya. Yellow card to number 19.
Fitch wanted the header, but gets turned over the other way. Ajmir Spangler distributes as it comes back towards the Tormenta D-line. Just past a half an hour, another 15 plus stoppage between South Georgia Tormenta and Richmond Kickers in City Stadium in Richmond. Both teams looking for their first win of the season. Tormenta 0-1-1, Richmond 0-1-0. Kickers take it back. Schenfeld. All the way back for Hara. Thrown on the near side for Tormenta. As it drops for Spangler. Wanted the feed, but blocked down. Race to the ball. Gets a turnover for Richmond in a sprint, but Adrian Billhart unable to win the race. Preston Kilwine sends it all the way down, and now a jostle for the ball. Wanted Fonseca, but a foul on the offensive sprint. So not much to speak of in this game. It's almost like a very well-played chess match, trying to figure out what the move is and what the move is after that. Only one yellow card both sides, and the Connor Doyle goal in the 4th minute from a broken play. Sierakowski. 1v1 versus Akoto. Nils Vinyals all the way for Dakota Barnathan. Wanted to send it out for Simon Fitch, who was just shy of the mark. Fitch and Barnathan really becoming staples in this Richmond back line. Fitch starting all 32 games last year, had career highs in goals and assists. As Adrian Billhart takes a tumble but earns the whistle. Garnett for Shenfield. Drops it off, Sierakowski. Sierakowski wants the long cross for Fitch. Fitch versus Lombardi. Vigneault tries to chip it up, but out of the way from the head of Lombardi. Now Lombardi clears. Vigneault continues to advance into the offensive end where Sierakowski wants a Koto again. Vigneault sent into the box, but no one available. Ford Parker there again. Ball juggles up towards center. No one quite able to clearly maintain possession, so it comes back away for James Vaughn. Vaughn wants long for Bill Hart. Bill Hart has to stop as he's getting watched by Lombardi. Bill Hart into the box, deflected away, but another chance goes, and it's cleared out. It's swiped away and out of bounds. There's a nice defensive opportunity for Tavio Del Mayo, was able to clear it out to prevent any more damage. We've been noting some of those key additions for Richmond on that injury report, as Tormenta really had no one on that injury report. They look to continue to threaten despite their being shorthanded. As the ball comes near side, Fonseca, Lombardi, clearance off of Richmond for the throw. And we talked to Richmond head coach Darren Sawatsky about having those guys fill in, especially with how young their team is. He just talked about managing the expectations and understanding the great experience that they have to play against these high-level veterans. As the shot comes from Zaka Moran, but he was just off the mark. And that was the other thing that Coach Sawatsky really wanted to keep an eye on, is just noticing that they're not trying to just have these guys fill into these roles for the now. He wants to really look out for their long-term future as well, to make sure that these guys can go as far as they can, as he's seen previous players go to high levels, onwards and upwards in his terms, to higher levels, including the MLS, including the USLC, and other similar calibers of leagues throughout the world. And both of these teams have essentially been in very similar trajectories, both of them noting how the collective bargaining agreement that was agreed on in 2022 really kind of put a vice grip on the way that both these teams are able to construct their rosters because of their ability to sign certain players, their ability to pay certain players, and it's really allowed both teams to really utilize their academy programs and the NCAA to find the talent that they've been looking for. And they both want to develop from within to make sure that these guys not only start in their system but continue to grow. As the seam ball goes for Sierakowski, but just out of his reach. So Parker's right there. And the key for both of these coaches, and this is something that they both noted at some point during our talks with them, is just understanding that everything is a part of the learning process. As Bill Hart distributes out for Simmons. Simmons comes out wide. Simmons has a lane, blocked away. Rebound, Sierakowski didn't take the swipe at it. He hesitated, and that might have been costly for that possession, but Richmond is still on it. Moran, Vigneault, 5 minutes plus stoppage to go in a 1-0 game in favor of South Georgia Tormenta against the Richmond Kickers. Simon Fitch centers. Vaughn trying to get away from his man, so just send it all the way back for Garnett. Sent to the box and out. Vaughn in his second career League One match for Fitch. Centering feed, stolen away by Fonseca. Near side comes for Spangler before it gets knocked out of play. Tormenta protesting, but the ruling goes in Richmond's favor. Vignoles taking up from behind, but still on his feet with possession. Unable to advance, so it just comes all the way back for a Richmond throw. Barnathan. Garnett. All the way around for Vaughn. Leads the team in interceptions going into the game today as it comes out for Fitch. Wants to loft it. Sierakowski takes the shot, but that's blocked in front by Akoto. All the way back, Garnett. Schenfeld. Sierakowski and Akoto have been dueling so well all game. Akoto disrupts Sierakowski in his tracks, but it's a throw-in for Richmond either way. Simon Fitch wants to send in the box. Sierakowski drops it off. Vignoles couldn't quite get the poke on it. So it comes all the way out. Ajmir Spangler wants the long ball for Fonseca. Fonseca across. Bouncing ball. Vivas, he's taken down. Another chance goes. Saved by Hara off of the shot from Watson. Watson scored the lone goal versus Madison last week for his first goal in League One. And now Tormenta's right back on it. They want to be aggressive in the final minute plus stoppage, but it's going to come the other way for Richmond. Sierakowski. Schenfeld into the box. And Fitch unable to keep it in. But a throw-in comes. 4 minutes of stoppage. Largely due to the man chasing the ball, Aaron Lombardi, and his head-to-head contact early in the match. Vignoles tangled up, unable to escape. Fonseca has center for Delmaida. Watson wants a Koto, but it's going to be dived on by Pablo Hara. And Hara comes out quick as we're a minute deep into 4 on stoppage. Seam pass broken up. Fonseca goes back and forth with Watson as it comes all the way around for Ajmir Spangler. Just barely able to prevent the Richmond throw on that near sideline, so it comes all the way back for Parker. Kilwine unable to find space until he does. Dalmeida. Akoto. Bill Hart disrupts, but it's a perfectly placed ball for Lombardi as he has some green grass ahead of him. Aaron Lombardi wants the cross, but it's sent away. As that's going to be a long ball, comes all the way towards the net, but it's overhead everything. might have been carried by that aggressive 15-mile-per-hour wind that is now towards the back of Tormenta. That wind has changed directions at least 4 times in this first half alone. We saw in the first half it was on Tormenta's back, then it was on Richmond's back for a little bit. Went back and forth, and now we're back to it going right to left on pitch view. Tormenta's back, Richmond's face. Distribution by Griffin Garnett. The future commits to the Washington Huskies. Comes all the way back, Barnathan deflects for Hara. Halfway through stoppage, 1-0 Tormenta. Long ball unavailable, just a throw. The 1 goal from Connor Doyle in the 4th. And a yellow card for both sides, one for Vignoles and one for Dalmeida. Now Richmond gets a chance in what most likely will be the final minute of stoppage in the Tormenta end. Fitch on the return from Vignoles. All the way around, back for Garnett. Sierakowski. Fed into the box, blocked by Akoto, so a corner comes for Richmond. 3 corners in the match, 2 have gone Richmond's way. And if there's a time for Richmond to pounce on an opportunity just before the half to level this game, you'd think it'd be right here. Corner set in, deflected, and just wide of the post was Sierakowski. Sierakowski looking for his first goal of the season off of the corner. Vignoles with the right foot just hooked in, got initial deflection, but Sierakowski and Akoto, those two have been going at each other all game long as Akoto and Sierakowski were squaring off again right around 7 yards out as Ford Parker sends this one off with more power than the F-150. Comes all the way back to Richmond end, and that's the end of the first half. 1-0 after the first half, thanks to Connor Doyle, his first of the season and his 3rd in all of League One in the 4th minute. It's halftime here in Richmond, Virginia. South Georgia Tormenta have gained the early advantage and have held on throughout halftime, and the second half coming up on ESPN Plus after this.
Health. Suddenly that word seems more important these days, as it's consumed all aspects of our lives and made our universes feel smaller than ever. But at Bon Secours, your health has always been our top priority, and we're staying as committed as always to personalizing the right care for you. Because whether here or from home, we believe your health care should always revolve around you. Bon Secours, primary care for the universe of you. Visit bonsecours.com/primary care to connect with a provider today.
We would not have a business today if it weren't for the support of many, many people within the Richmond community. To me, we're working as a team to enhance the quality of life for all residents.
It's about being the best that you can be. It's about enriching the lives of people in your community. There's a reason why we have the tagline Nourish, because it's really about nourishing the lives of the people that work for us and the people that we serve. That's what the UCrops brand stands for.
Welcome to Royal New Kent Golf Club. Designed by world-renowned architect Mike Strantz, Royal New Kent's a one-of-a-kind Irish-style golf course located 20 minutes east of Richmond, Virginia. Royal New Kent was featured in Golf Week's top 100 public courses in the country. Hidden behind grassy knolls and hand-stacked rock walls, each hole offers several playing options to fit a wide range of abilities. Visit royalnewkent.com or follow us on social media for more information on tee times and rates. Remember, come to Royal New Kent Golf Club to Golf Ireland in Virginia.
We're back here at City Stadium here in Richmond, Virginia, where South Georgia Tormenta currently holds a 1-0 lead in favor of Richmond Kickers, as we go through the highlights. Most notable, as the first match we'll be keeping track of, is Lexington and Chattanooga. The lone and only goal for Yankum was enough to get the 1-0 lead for Lexington SC, who currently sit at the top of the table. 2 matches, 1 win, 1 draw for the most points, and the only chance for Chattanooga at the end of the half came, but it was just kissing the crossbar to deny Chattanooga the other way. And the Kickers last week went all the way to Spokane, were unable to get their first win of the season, but gave Spokane their first win in franchise history. 2 excellent chances off of that left side post for Spokane to earn their first win of the year. However, Richmond off of the throw-in. Bill Hart gets the first regular season goal for Richmond. It was enough to earn him Team of the Week, but nonetheless, Spokane take the first win. And 1 Knoxville, Frank Ross drills that one into the far post for the goal of the week throughout League One. However, Charlotte would get one back off of the corner. Alvarez for Roberts. The rebound off of Dimmick in his first game back from neck surgery. Was unable to walk, was bedridden, got the equalizer for the Charlotte Independents. However, the player of the week, Angelo Kelly, with a header. Also an assist on that initial Frank Ross goal. 1 goal, 1 assist for Angelo Kelly. Player of the week for the USL League One in Week 2. Tormenta and Madison a week ago was level at 1. Madison took the early edge to get things at 1-0. However, Tormenta would take one back late in that match. That was deep in the game as Niall Watson got the first goal of that game, and that one ended level at 1. And the final match of the weekend went to Central Valley hosting Omaha. Central Valley started things strong with that first win in the Jermaine Jones era, but Omaha showing why they've been so strong, showing why they were the best team in the regular season a week ago. Union Omaha beat Central Valley by a score of 2-1 a season ago. As we come back here in Richmond, we have more coming out throughout halftime and the start of the second half coming up after this.
Go get it, Doug.
When termites show up, so do we. Terminix it.
You've given us a foundation to be proud of. We build on this now. This is it now, gents. This is us from now on.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Yeah, we running the game. We're coming in strong, and you will not forget it. We're here to take you on, and we can fight and we defend it. We never looking back, we focused on the road. We didn't come to play, and now we never let it go. Yeah, we want to take it higher.
Follow up in! Louisville level in the 70th. He puts it in. Indy 11 leads on the road.
Yeah, we want to take it higher.
Looks great.
Oh.
When termites show up, so do we. Terminix it.
So we've decided to sell the house.
Oh, yeah? Who's your realtor?
Well,
home for sale, home for sale. Over here, guys, over here. Only $10.
Where do I find comps? What is incumbents? How do I escrow?
Here's what I found for Scarecrow.
actually, I've been meaning to ask who you and Paul worked with.
In 2024, USL League One will introduce a new in-season cup competition built on regional rivalries and added dimensions to the game itself. Like cups around the world, this new tournament will consist of group play and a knockout round. The 3 groups of 4 will consist of the East Group, Charlotte, Greenville, Richmond, and Tormenta. The Central Group, Chattanooga, Knoxville, Lexington, and Madison. The West Group, Central Valley, Northern Colorado, Omaha, and Spokane. The clubs will play a home and away round robin within their group. Then they will play 2 matches, 1 home and 1 away, against 2 different teams from another group. In total, each club will play 8 matches in group action. The top team in each group will advance to the semifinals, joined by the non-group leader with the most goals scored. This innovation will encourage more attacking and entertaining play. That's not the only fun adjustment. If a group stage game finishes tied at the end of regulation time, a penalty kick shootout will take place with an extra point in the standings on the line. The cup will evolve and grow over the next few years, bringing more drama and more memories for all.
We're back here in Richmond, Virginia, as we go through our news and notes throughout the entirety of the USL as the US Open Cup continued. We saw the first round this past week. It continues throughout the 11 League One clubs that advanced into the second round, which will take place between the 2nd and 3rd of April in a couple of weeks from now. And in terms of national coverage, USL finally getting the exposure they deserve as CBS will host the Indy 11 and Louisville City FC on CBS on April 10th. And Angelo Kelly Rosales earns the League One Player of the Week honors. I got an opportunity to see him absolutely dominate as One Knoxville took that win versus the Charlotte Independence. He got the Player of the Week, a goal and an assist. But he also had his running mate Frank Ross in that forward line for the Team of the Week. As we mentioned, Ford Parker for South Georgia Tormenta, also a part of that Week 2 Team of the Week as well. And as we mentioned, as Adrian Billhart is also a part of that Team of the Week for League 2, earning himself that goal from Spokane, as Lee Wiedman from Spokane was earning Coach of the Week throughout the Team of the Week in League 2. As we go across the scores and schedule throughout the entirety of USL League One, Knoxville and Lexington, both of them expanded in League One a season ago, currently knotted up with no score in the 26th minute. Greenville and Madison will square off at 7, and Spokane, as mentioned earlier throughout the highlight package, got their first win last week versus Richmond, will take on Northern Colorado Hailstorm. Charlotte will get their first opportunity against Spokane in Charlotte's 10th season anniversary on Thursday. And Friday, Lexington will host Greenville. And Friday, we will look to see how things continue in the Jermaine Jones era for Central Valley Fuego, 10 p.m. as they host the Flamingos of Ford Madison. All games across the board on ESPN+. Halftime stats, and the kickoff for the second half will commence after this.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the high five strangers got. Game-winning interception. First down. Just a nice, solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extrovert. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Welcome to Royal New Kent Golf Club. Designed by world-renowned architect Mike Strantz, Royal New Kent's a one-of-a-kind Irish-style golf course located 20 minutes east of Richmond, Virginia. Royal New Kent was featured in Golf Week's top 100 public courses in the country. Hidden behind grassy knolls and hand-stacked rock walls, each hole offers several playing options to fit a wide range of abilities. Visit royalnewkent.com or follow us on social media for more information on tee times and rates. Remember, come to Royal New Kent Golf Club to Golf Ireland in Virginia.
Health. Suddenly that word seems more important these days, as it's consumed all aspects of our lives and made our universes feel smaller than ever. But at Bon Secours, your health has always been our top priority, and we're staying as committed as always to personalizing the right care for you. Because whether here or from home, we believe your health care should always revolve around you. Bon Secours, primary care for the universe of you. Visit bonsecours.com/primary care to connect with the...
First half highlights come through as that first opportunity came in front. It was Simon Fitch in the feed up in front. Neil Vignoles, he's been a huge catalyst of the offense all season. One of the first one, but the block shot from Makoto gets blocked up in front, and Connor Doyle follows up for the first goal of the game. Vignoles wanted to tie things up on this set piece, but a beautiful punch out from Ford Parker. Had all the focus on that one to try to keep that one out. As another chance comes into the box, Sierakowski leads the entire game in shots attempted 4, but only had 1 on target. Tried to go again for Sierakowski off of the Vignoles corner, was just a little bit off target after the initial deflection. But nonetheless, we are still knotted up at, we're still stuck at 1-0 after the half. It took 4 minutes for Connor Doyle to break the ice, and nothing has come since. Richmond had a flurry of opportunities. 8 shot attempts, 2 on goal for the kickers. Tormenta, 5 shot attempts, 3 on target, as we are back for the second half between the Richmond Kickers and South Georgia Tormenta. Ryan Lee with you with our entire ESPN Plus crew on week 3 for South Georgia Tormenta, game 2 for Richmond. A little bit of a fumble right there for Griffin Garnett, so Max Shenfield will have to retreat and get it. Inadvertent deflection off of the arm of Nicholas Simmons, so ball comes Tormenta's way. As you can just hear the whipping of that wind, which has been part of the story of this match. Some balls a little off target, maybe lofting it into ways you don't expect because of Mother Nature playing her part. As Doyle, the lone goal scorer, distributes to his teammate, but it gets deflected out of play on that far side. Throw in Tormenta. Fonseca back for Dalmaida. And now the kickers take it back away, but a long send-in goes right towards the hands of Pablo Jara. We talked about Ford Parker looking for his first win since 2020. Pablo Jara looking for his first win since September of 2023. Comes back for Parker. Good to see Aaron Lombardi doing everything he can to continue taking this game after he had that bloody head-to-head contact very quickly in the first half, but now Richmond takes it back. Maxi Schoenfeld. Sierakowski. One-on-one with Akoto, but a whistle draws the play dead. Flag comes up. Tormenta sent in deep, too short for Fonseca, but comes back to the other number 10, Nils Vignoles. Cannot contain. Now Fonseca has an opportunity for a run. Fonseca dishes it back. Another chance goes, but that one is just a little bit off for Sebastian Vivas. Vivas has played 70+ minutes in both of his matches against Madison and Central Valley, trying to make his first opportunity goal for Tormenta, looking for his first goal contribution in 2 matches of his League One career. But it comes near side Akoto. Schoenfeld took a stumble as it just got clipped by Fonseca. Trying to go quick for Sierakowski. As it's just a quick little... I'm not even sure if Fonseca even got a touch on Zaka Moran, but nonetheless, Moran. Sierakowski and Akoto once again, ex-teammates with Tormenta. I'm sure they've had that battle throughout all of training and continue this in this early 1-0 match in the second half. Akoto deflected towards Sierakowski. Sierakowski into the box, deflected off of Akoto and out. Corner number 3 for Richmond. That whipping wind you can see right there on the corner flag, currently in the back of the Richmond kickers, the face of Tormenta. But Vignoles sends it in, deflected away, another chance, loose ball, out by Tormenta. Moran wants Bill Hart, but it's sent into the stands. Right into that front wall. You can hear it, you can see it. Mother Nature's effect on this game. Even on that corner kick from Nils Vignoles, the ball moved just ever so slightly right before he struck that corner kick. But the ball comes near size. Maxi Schoenfeld will retreat towards Griffin Garnett. Schoenfeld again. Wants it high. Goal kick. Tormenta. Ford Parker with the goal kick. Looks to escape his own half on the pitch. Player slow to get up. He's covering himself. is the cause for the delay in Richmond right at mid-pitch. Looks like Nick Akoto took an errant arm of Ryan Sierakowski. They've been squaring off against each other the entire match. As we take a quick look at Richmond head coach Darren Sawatsky, spent 8 years with the MLS, has been with the Richmond Kicker side since 2019 after coaching 2 years with FC Tucson of USL League One. Also doubles up as their sporting director. And he's been really impressed with the way that these guys have been playing, especially with how young that they've been. And he's just really been noticing how his guys have been able to respond in certain situations, understanding that in-game adversity is part of the process in terms of teaching his young players, whether if it's man-marking turnovers, man-marking on corners, turnovers that might come when trying to create offense, having those really hard, grinding games where you just have to tough it out in the toughest of circumstances. And he wants the players to understand on his side that they are good enough to play for a reason, and they have to continue showcasing their talents throughout the full 90 minutes from whistle to whistle. And he wants these guys to understand that sometimes miscues, they are all part of the process. It's part of learning, and just learn to prevent them for next time. But Richmond looks to continue as the little give and go was attempted by Simmons, but it comes right back for Ford Parker. Long ranger on his throw for Doyle, but it comes all the way back. Strip from Richmond. Shenfield centers for Vignoles. Wanted Bill Hart all the way across, but it still dropped off innings for Fitch. Fitch chasing on the steal from Spangler. Spangler has a man all alone. Niall Watson, one-on-one. Watson! 2-0 Tormenta! Scored the lone goal last week versus Madison. Scored the second today versus Richmond. 2-0 Tormenta. Niall Watson was just left all alone. Nobody was available, as Dakota Barnathan could only do nothing but chase after it. And a nice sliding feed from Ajmir Spangler for the assist. Second goal of the season for Watson. First assist for Ajmir Spangler. That's his first goal contribution in League One. The 23-year-old from England, playing the last 4 seasons with Southport FC on the England National League North. Signed with Tormenta in December of 2023. Gets his first and second goal in USL League One in consecutive weeks. And now it looks like we are going to have a substitution coming for Richmond. Looks like Nick Simmons is coming out of the match. And in his place, Arthur Bourgeois.
Substitution for your Richmond Kickers in for number 37, Nicholas Simmons. Number 9,
Arthur Bourgeois comes into the game, 28 years old, from Johannesburg, South Africa, and also an ex-member of Tormenta, but Adrian Billhart comes out wide. Billhart, stutter steps past his man, takes a hard fall in the box, no whistle. Richmond gets possession again, no whistle again. Refs trying to look like they're swallowing their whistles today as the ball comes out of play. 2 players were down. Spangler gets up, but Lombardi is down once again, grabbing his head. We saw him bloody on the right side of his head to start the game off. Still there. And now Bill Hart trying to protest to the official. Connor Doyle having to hold him back out of frustration. I'm very surprised that that whole sequence, there was not a single whistle anywhere to be found. We saw Bill Hart take a stumble into the box. Lombardi had it a bit. As we can see here, Bill Hart, that's Vignoles, got his arm up in the face area of Lombardi. He's still very frustrated. This officiating crew swallowing the whistles the entire way through. And after all of that, Lombardi takes the yellow for dissent. Take another look at that scrum on the far side. Lombardi won the ball away from Vaughn, and then he just takes the elbow. You can see that something flew up as Vignoles' elbow made contact with Lombardi. Probably a little bit of saliva from Lombardi. He is just getting pummeled today. You still see that red streak on that right side of his head from the blood back on the first half. Just some content warning for those who may be a little, maybe not as strong stomached as others. But nonetheless, play resumes as a throw-in comes Richmond's way. Handball, Richmond ball. Vignoles into the box, deflected, and Parker parks it right on the goal line. A beautiful shot into the box. Arthur Boshua getting his feet wet in this game with a deflected header. And Parker able to escape the danger as the ball trickles its way back to Hara. Ford Parker looking for that first win since 2020 as Lombardi takes it back. Lombardi breaks up the play, throw in Richmond. Hour deep, Richmond up 2-0. Griffin Garnett. Maxi Schenfeld. Up for Vignoles. Disrupted, Akoto. Far but not out as Schenfeld keeps it in. Sierakowski and Akoto again. Akoto gets the clear. A new era of USL kicks off in April. Join us Saturday, April 6th on CBS as Louisville City FC takes on Indy 11 at 4 p.m. Eastern at Lynn Family Stadium in Louisville, kicking off the first ever national broadcast of the USL on the CBS networks. Garnett. Vignoles returns for Garnett. Will take some time away from the Richmond kickers as he makes his commitment to the University of Washington in the fall of 2025. Richmond turns it back the other way. A hard takedown. Advantage played on. Vignoles. Just through the legs of Boshua. And Tormenta clears. Hard foul taken. And officials already has the yellow card out in his hand. Might have been for the earlier contact. Ajmer Spangler will get booked off of the earlier contact. Just allowed the play to continue as Richmond had the advantage. Played in his first ever career game versus Central Valley. Started his first match versus Madison last week. Has an assist today on that Watson goal to make it 2-0 as we are in the 63rd minute in City Stadium, Richmond, Virginia. Aaron Lombardi just getting the rain of boos after that descent yellow as Vignoles on the front seats gets it off. But Fonseca trying to do the same. Fonseca able to get it away as he was able to do so with his bottom on the ground. And now the hard foul comes against Richmond. Tormenta set piece. All the way back, Jake Dangler, the last member of that 2022 championship team with Tormenta. He's the last member still on the team. All the way back, Pablo Jara. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. Plus, hear live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the new Sirius XM app.
Coming on number 7, Landon Johnson. And number 27, Chandler O'Dwyer.
Couple of more subs. O'Dwyer and Johnson coming into the game as the ball comes all the way back for Dakota Barnathan. Fitch wants to go deep. Bill Hart in a foot race. Kilwine and Bill Hart won by Kilwine as he dishes this one off for Lombardi. Dangler sends it off.
Quickly substitutions. Number 7 and number 27 in. For number 11 and number 38. Number 16, Mason Tunbridge, and number 17, Gabriel Rodriguez. And for number 7, Niall Watson. And number 9, Sebastian Vivas.
Richmond send this one deep. Lombardi. Still a flurry of boos his way as the ball comes back for Ajmer Spangler. Steedman subbed off a little while ago. Steedman playing in his 600th career minute in the USL League One.
IPA starts at the 70th minute. Visit one of the 3 Knox bars on the top course.
Daniel Steedman subbed out for Tavio Dalmeida to keep that yellow card, on the bench. Turnover the other way. Tormenta. Out wide, Fonseca. Fonseca will hold as he's being watched very carefully by James Vaughn. But Vaughn takes it away. So the 17-year-old Griffin Garnett comes out in favor of Chandler O'Dwyer. And Ryan Sierakowski, we saw him battling all game, comes out in favor of the 17-year-old Landon Johnson. And on the Tormenta side, we already mentioned it, Daniel Steedman in to take away the yellow card from Talvio Dalmeida as the throw-in comes Richmond's way. Mason Turnbridge enters as Sebastian Vivas exits. And Niall Watson, he got that second goal of the game, gets substituted as well for Gabriel Rodriguez. Lombardi takes a tumble, and I'm sure Lombardi's relieved that he finally got one of the calls to go his way. Parker to the edge. Lombardi with some space. Lombardi gets taken down hard again. Shook that head a little bit, couldn't get the call, but the ball comes out wide. Bill Hart. Bill Hart continues to weave through before Ajmir Spangler dissipates any more damage as Fonseca gets on the near side. Fonseca shook off Shenfield, and Fonseca has space. Fonseca looking for options. Back, Doyle. A trio of substitutions on both sides. Both Ian Cameron and Darren Sawatsky have 2 to go. Quickly to the edge. Parker gets it back. High ball. 1v1 won by Akoto, and Doyle dishes out wide. Ajmir Spangler, 23-year-old from the USF Bulls. Sent into the box, Akoto, too far for him. Akoto returned. And Doyle will just send it back. Jake Dangler, 2022 second team All League One, continues to be a staple for head coach Ian Cameron. As we are in the final 20 minutes plus stoppage in a 2-0 match between South Georgia Tormenta and the Richmond Kickers. Wind still to the back of Richmond in the face of Tormenta. It's one of those storylines we've been following all game, how it's changed both sides as the header comes up. Rodriguez to Spangler. Mason Turnbridge. Sent in, but well over as Turnbridge attempted the shot.
Attention fans. Tonight's attendance
Couple of absences for both sides, as we've mentioned the lengthy injury list for the Richmond Kickers. South Georgia Tormenta have a couple of guys, including Callum Stretch, Joshua Ramos, and Jackson Corey, all out due to international duty.
Attention, please. Substitutions for your
Richmond takes another substitution.
Coming on number 3.
Maxie Shenfield comes out in place of Chris Cole, who makes his 44th match played for Richmond as League One Creole. And Gabriel Cox in his first match of 2024 for the 18-year-old from Fredericksburg, Virginia, part of the Richmond United Academy program. As a throw-in comes out for Akoto, so this will mark all 5 subs for Richmond. Tormenta only used up 3 thus far. Possession's been just about even in the second half, and it was heavily in favor of Richmond Kickers at 70%. So Tormenta's done a much better job getting themselves involved in this game and trying to control their tempo and their pace in the second half. Shots are 3-1 in the second half, 9-8 for Richmond in total, as the goal kick comes, much to the dismay of the Richmond faithful. The Rec City Red Army not thrilled with the call. Four shots on target in the match for South Georgia Tormenta, 3 for Richmond. But of those 4 shots on net for Tormenta, 2 have made it behind Pablo Jara. Out wide, Gabriel Cox, disrupted by Lombardi, forces a corner for Richmond. This is going to be the 4th corner attempt for Nils Vignoles. And be careful of that wind again. In the last corner, we saw the ball move just so slightly before Vignoles struck it. Vignoles punched out by Ford Parker. Kept into the box. Fonseca. Foot race on the near side, touched out of bounds by Richmond. Throw in Tormenta. After that corner kick from Nils Vignoles, Ford Parker had to rise all the way up, higher than Everest. As we see on the far side, substitutions are getting prepped for South Georgia Tormenta. Al-Sadiq Hassan and Austin Wenner are coming in. Aaron Lombardi wants that yellow card off the page, and Pedro Fonseca.
Coming in for number 22, Aaron Lombardi. Number 5, Al-Sadiq Hassan.
So Al-Sadiq Hassan making his 2nd ever match appearance in the USL League One. Austin Wenner gets his first career match played in the 76th minute. So a lot of debuts across League One for both of these sides as the ball comes all the way back for Zach Moran. Cole has a seam for Vignoles. Out wide, back for Vignoles. Just doing anything he can to escape the 23-year-old Austin Wenner. All the way wide, Fitch. Sent in, headed out Kilwine dissipates the damage, but gets a throw in for the Richmond Kickers. Vaughn signaling, looks like he wants to send this one deep. Vaughn into the box. Cox gets a touch on it, but not much. Another chance goes, but that one is blocked in front by Hassan. And it comes out corner number 5 for Richmond. The last win for the Richmond Kickers was July 1st of 2023 to the Chattanooga Red Wolves. They've been 0-12-5 since. Send it to the box, headed down, and Parker parks it. Approximately a dozen minutes and change, plus stoppage, in the 2-0 game between Tormenta and Richmond. Side-by-side header has a Koto down. eFootball 2024 is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download now. Akoto's still a little slow. The 25-year-old from Miami. He won the 2021 NAIA national title with Kaiser University in the Miami region. He was also a part of South Georgia Tormenta 2 of League Two, the Tormenta Academy affiliate. But Tormenta has used all 5 of their subs, so there's no way for Akoto to come off of the pitch. Scored the game-winning lone goal in the US Open Cup versus FC America on Tuesday to earn Tormenta the 1-0 lead in that Open Cup match. Gave them the second round match. They have this game versus Richmond. They'll travel to Knoxville on the 30th. And then Tormenta will host the Savannah Clovers FC of the NISA on the 3rd. Yellow card comes out. Daniel Steedman on Vignoles. Just that tug on the shoulder for Vignoles. Called it out immediately. Referee knew to reach in the pocket.
The yellow card has been assessed to Tormenta FC number 8, Daniel Steedman. Yellow card to number 8.
Sent it to the box, header! Poked away by Ford Parker. Boshua has 2 headers in the direction of Parker, and Parker had to step up to the mat, swatted them both away. Some excellent saves for the League One goalkeeper of Week 2 as Vignoles sends in the 6th corner, headed away, number 7 upcoming. As Vignoles sent that one into the box, Arthur Boshua knew he had the advantage at 6'4". As Vignoles this one again, headed away. Rebound! Cox is off target. So we take a quick look at Gabriel Cox making his first game of 2024, his seasonal debut in his second season professionally, both with Richmond. 7 matches played, 0 starts a season ago by the Fredericksburg, Virginia native. Higher than Everest was that kick by Ford Parker. As that one trickles its way all the way back. Throw in, Richmond. Cox for Vignoles. And Vignoles wants the space he's given. Distributes out wide, into the box, deflected, and Parker is right there to take it. That send into the box was deflected up in front by Landon Johnson, making his seasonal debut. Ford Parker's been all over. Has just stopped everything in his track as he still has the clean sheet against Richmond with 7 minutes and change to go in a 2-0 game with Tormenta have the edge. Sent in again, header, deflected, out of reach of Johnson. But Johnson wanted it, Wenner lets it fly. Richmond still has possession. Chris Cole on the near side. Part of this Richmond squad after making a trial in 2021 and now he's making his way in his 4th season off the bench. Cole, header, deflected out, but still dangerous before it gets booted away by Al-Sadiq Hassan. Richmond still possessing deep in the Tormenta end. Overhead, Vignoles. Comes to center, Gabriel Rodriguez. Wanted the feed back, but Simon Fitch is there first. Landon Johnson. Tormenta wants the offside call, none given. O'Dwyer, Vignoles. Final 5 and change. High, Parker climbs and holds. And Parker is very slow to get up. On the defensive end. On the defensive end, Ford Parker has been so fast. Just gets the hand up there, takes that contact shoulder to shoulder. Looked like it was Chandler O'Dwyer who was in the box. And Ford got the yellow for time wasting with the final 5 minutes plus stoppage.
Parker. Yellow card to number 1.
That's the 4th yellow card against Tormenta versus 1 for Richmond. And that 1 yellow card for Richmond has been the difference maker. Centering feed up in front. Another opportunity here for Richmond, trying to fight off his man, and gets drilled down. Set piece coming for Richmond. Steedman protesting. He needs to be careful. He's got a yellow card earlier. But now a set piece just on the outside of the box for Richmond. As just that little arm hook from Steedman off of O'Dwyer. And Vignoles. Approximately 24 yards out of the goal line. There's a lot of scrapping inside of the box. Vinyals to take. Vinyals! Top corner, too high. Just over the roof of Parker. Did not need to make his 6th save, as he's still at 5 for the match. But that defensive end of the pitch for Tormenta, it's just been quick as a Mustang the whole way through. Foul, Richmond, ball, Tormenta. It's not even just the fact that Ford Parker has had 5 saves, it's the way that he's had them. A couple of dives, a couple of leaping swats as it comes all the way towards the end line. Mason Turnbridge just looking to kill time in the opposing corner, and goal kick for Richmond. Final 2 plus change, and stoppage upcoming. Parker gets the snag one more time off of the deep ball into the box. The USL Championship is on CBS and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN Plus. Go to USLChampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings. Richmond threatening in the offensive end. Sent into the box, deflected, Parker! Quick on that again. Parker has done so well in net. He's been so fast on the ball. He's been able to just make the right reads at the right time as the ball continues to juggle at center. As we're approaching 90. Parker again with the goal kick. Clearance comes out wide as we're in the 90th minute. We got a half dozen minutes of stoppage. Scrap at center. No one with clear possession, so Gabriel Cox gets it back. Out wide, the ball goes. Chandler O'Dwyer. Barnathan. O'Dwyer again. Wants out wide. Cox. Contested hard by Hassan. Cox and Hassan going at it, but Hassan wins possession and gets it away. Simon Fitch. Out of the reach of Vinyals, and now a potential break for Tormenta. There was a chance that Doyle could have tried to go for the net, but he just chooses just to loft it towards the Richmond end. Both sides have yet to earn their win. Tormenta hangs on for 5 minutes. They'll get their first of the season and elevate themselves to 1-1-1 if they can hold this 2-0 lead in the 90+2. Vinyals. Starter steps. Drops it off. Moran out wide into the box, deflected. No one finds its way behind Parker. No clean sheet for Ford Parker. Richmond gets one back in the 90+2. And there's 4 minutes to potentially draw level. Sent into the box, inadvertent deflection. That looks like it might have been an own goal. As it just comes out wide, and James Vaughn, one of the distribution up in center. This most likely will go down as an own goal against Tormenta. But nonetheless, Richmond now have a little bit of life in their second of a 4-game homestand. Far side, cleared away, Jake Dengler. Hara. Pablo Hara just takes it himself, looks for an option. Chris Cole. Niels Vignoles. Vignoles wants it deep, and now an opportunity here. Cox stumbles. Still in play. O'Dwyer for Vignoles. 3 minutes to go in stoppage in the 90+3. We've got 6. Vignoles makes a man miss. Continues to go out wide. Has Landon Johnson. Return for Vignoles. Vignoles into the box. Deflected. And a whistle, but it's against Richmond. And a yellow card for Tormenta. That's Al-Sadiq Hassan. It's another yellow card against Richmond. Parker sends it away. Richmond throw. Still have 2 minutes to try to make something work. Except that header by Arthur Bashua did not go the way he wanted to. Spent 2 years with Tormenta in 2022-2023 before going to Richmond in January. But Hassan off the throw. Headed down. Could not find its bounce to Vignoles. So Cole scraps with Wenner, and Wenner walks away with it.
Yellow card has been assessed to Tormenta FC number 5.
Wenner just shoves Cole out of the way. Centering feed. Rodriguez. Cole. About a minute left to go. Throw-in maintains possession for Tormenta. Tormenta wants that first win. Richmond, if they can turn it over and go the other way, wants to spoil this party. Akoto out off Wenner. Final minute. The own goal for Richmond was noted for Preston Kilwine. Was the one who deflected that one behind Parker. But Wenner is still deep in the Richmond end, and the kickers are struggling to regain the possession. O'Dwyer. Barnathan stripped away. Rodriguez centering. 3-1. It's Mason Turnbridge, his first goal in League One. In the 90+6, the final minute, shuts the door on this game with a 2-goal lead.
Tormenta FC goal scored by number 16, Mason.
Barnathan trying so hard to maintain possession, got stripped by Rodriguez. Turnbridge was all alone in the center, and that slip was enough to get the opportunity there. Gabriel Rodriguez scored the first goal of the season versus Central Valley. now has an assist on his name as well. Turnbridge with his first ever League One goal as the WCC Offensive Player of the Year with San Diego. Vignoles out wide, deflected away. And this match is over. Tormenta with their first win in the 2024 League One season comes against the Richmond Kickers. 3-1 after 90. Our man of the match for this game, presented by Keeter, is Nils Vignoles. He's just been providing that offense all game long. We saw it versus Spokane. We saw it today versus Tormenta. He's just kind of that facilitator, that shooter. Every set piece comes off the foot of Nils Vignoles. He did exactly that today.
We would not have a business today if it weren't for the support of the many, many people within the Richmond community. To me, we're working as a team to enhance the quality of life for all residents.
It's about being the best that you can be. It's about enriching the lives of people in your community. There's a reason why we have the tagline Nourish, because it's really about nourishing the lives of the people that work for us and the people that we serve. That's what the UCrops brand stands for.
Health. Suddenly that word seems more important these days, as it's consumed all aspects of our lives and made our universes feel smaller than ever. But at Bon Secours, your health has always been our top priority, and we're staying as committed as always to personalizing the right care for you. Because whether here or from home, we believe your health care should always revolve around you. Bon Secours, primary care for the universe of you. Visit bonsecours.com/primary care to connect with the provider today.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the high five strangers got. Game-winning interception. First down. Just a nice, solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extrovert. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Full-time highlights in this match between the Richmond Kickers and South Georgia Tormenta. That was the own goal from Preston Kilwine that just deflected off of Parker. That one was the 3-1 goal. And Gabriel Rodriguez with the strip off of the fumble by Barnathan. Fumbled up in front as the play of the match presented by Courtyard Marriott in front for Mason Turnbridge's first goal in USL League One. Well, that's all for us here in Richmond for our entire ESPN Plus crew. I'm Ryan Lee. A 3-1 match for Tormenta's first win of the season. Thank you for joining us. Have a great rest of your night.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League League One cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League League One.